Hello, this is Group 4, and this is our presentation on workplace dynamics. Motivating staff to accomplish goals is a complicated but important task. Managers must clearly understand the organization's vision so that managers can assign goals and objectives properly. This presentation provides recommendations on how managers can motivate and communicate effectively. We start off with the quiet quitting and job engagement. Quiet quitting gained notoriety, especially on social media, as workers return to work in a near post-pandemic period. Some workers have experienced burnout that led them to self-reflection after experiencing uncertainty during the height of the pandemic. The question for managers here is how to design, or in some cases, redesign, a job to keep workers engaged. This task will require a closer look at organizational goals and workers' values and priorities. Job engagement. According to Robbins and Judge, expectancy theory predicts employees will exert a high level of effort if they perceive a strong relationship between effort and performance and rewards and satisfaction of personal goals. Redesigning jobs will require worker engagement in the process too. As Robbins and Judge mentioned, this engagement will develop factors deeper than liking a job or finding it interesting that will drive performance and looks at organizational goals and workers' values and priorities.
Recognition and motivation strategies. Understanding the workforce. Strategy 1. Identifying an associate's appreciation language and assessing their needs is crucial to having a motivated workforce. Obtaining this insight can allow management to appease each employee accordingly, reward them with a gift, quality time off, or a genuine thank you. Maslow's hierarchy of needs theory states there are 5 needs for every person: psychological, safety, security, social belongingness, esteem, and self-actualization. To motivate someone, you need to understand what level of the hierarchy that person is currently at and satisfy those needs at or above that level. Motivation and recognition. Strategy 2. Developing an equitable incentive program to keep employees motivated. The planning of such program is the most important stage to implementing it. Essentially, identify purpose and objectives. Ensuring that incentive is within reach is highly crucial for its success. According to McClelland's theory, that employees perform best when they perceive the probability of success as 50-50. Strategy 3, cultivating coworker connection. One option is implementing a forum or a space for employees to recognize and celebrate each other. This allows everyone to build relationships and encourage stronger connections. This strategy aligns with McClelland's NAF, need for affiliation, and Maslow's third most important need, social belongingness.
Increasing motivation with rewards. Organizations aim and crave to pursue a motivating workforce that have their employees fully engaged. Motivation is defined as the processes that account for an individual's intensity, direction, and persistence of effort toward attaining a goal. Intensity describes how hard a person tries. However, it is unlikely to lead to positive job performance outcomes unless the effort is channeled in a direction that benefits the organization. The quality of effort and intensity in the direction of the organization's goals should be considered. In addition to the persistence dimension that measures how long a person can maintain effort. Individuals who are motivated stay on a task long enough to achieve their goals. If an organization can accomplish the goal of having a motivating workforce, it can lead to many advantages. Managers must consider the diverse types of rewards that employees desire. There are extrinsic and intrinsic rewards to increase motivation for employees. Extrinsic rewards include compensation, benefits, higher salaries, better benefits, and stock options where employees are expecting to get something in return, along with intrinsic rewards, which include work-life balance, learning and development, and the feeling of fulfillment at work where employees are engaging in a behavior because they find it rewarding. These rewards vary from employee to employee, and managers need to be aware of how to consistently keep employees engaged and motivated. Keeping employees fully engaged is something managers fail to keep in mind. There is a stark difference between engagement and motivation. Any employee can be engaged at work and finish their to-do list in a timely manner where they feel a sense of purpose, belonging, and commitment to that organization. However, motivation is the fuel of energy required to do it. Next slide. According to Maslow's hierarchy of needs, there is a hierarchy of 5 needs which involve physiological, safety, security, social belongingness, esteem, and self-actualization. In order to motivate someone, a manager should understand which level of hierarchy that person is and focus on satisfying that person's needs at or above that level. No one is ever capable of mastering the best version of themselves because people are always striving to become better. This concept ties with motivation because a person must be motivated to fulfill their needs and will desire to strive for the next level ahead of them by using their talents in unique ways. Herzberg's two-factor theory of motivation, intrinsic motivators and extrinsic motivators, have an opposite relationship. Regarding employees' expectations, intrinsic motivators that are present tend to increase motivation, and extrinsic motivators that are absent tend to reduce motivation. Herzberg believed that the mental health of an employee is related to how they perform meaningful work. Instead of looking at the reward, happily, employees end up seeing only the pressure to achieve specific targets and disregard their sense of self-direction. It is crucial to make motivating factors more established and recognized in an organization by removing these hygiene factors or extrinsic rewards, such as company policy and administration, supervision, salary, benefits, higher salaries, benefits, and stock options. These simply appease employees and they will not be dissatisfied, but neither will they be satisfied. These are characteristics people find intrinsically rewarding. If hygiene and motivational factors or extrinsic and intrinsic factors are equally important to a person, both should be capable of motivating.
Improvements to communication in meetings. Meeting design. When employees feel like meetings are wasting their time, they're less likely to participate and communicate in meetings. This is a greater issue currently due to COVID-19 causing many people to work remotely, where it's much easier to avoid participation. To mitigate these challenges, meetings should be as efficient as possible. This can be achieved by setting a new agenda for every meeting in advance, only inviting people who need to be in the meeting, canceling meetings if they determine to be unnecessary, and starting and completing meetings on time. One-on-one meetings can also be used to offer employees a chance to comfortably explain any challenges they are facing and provide feedback. Miscommunication is very costly to businesses, but it can be reduced by paying attention to nonverbal cues. With many people now working from home rather than in the office, it has become much more challenging for people to convey their true feelings through tone and body language. In high context cultures such as China, Japan, these cues are very important for effective communication, and they can also benefit low context cultures such as Western countries. Meeting face-to-face with an online meeting could help minimize these issues. People who are not easily able to contribute, such as people with communication apprehension or those who work remotely, should be provided with alternative ways to use their voice.
Workplace dynamics. Workplace dynamics versus communication. Workplace dynamics can have a significant effect on people's physical and mental well-being. In a healthy workplace dynamics, employees who feel like their work is interesting, challenging, and rewarding are more likely to experience satisfaction. While in a poor workplace dynamic setting, priorities are disputed, instructions are vague, or employees don't feel comfortable communicating bad news to superiors for fear of a negative response. There are also two forms of communication: formal versus informal communication. Formal communication can be seen as clear employee guidelines that would dictate a company's policy, while informal communication would occur in small group networks. This can be in the form of a toxic workplace with employees trying to manage each other's behavior, with bullying and harassment. Communication strategy. Top-down strategy versus bottom-up approach. In a top-down strategy, change would begin with the highest ranking personnel, and this would be in the example of company policy. While in a bottom-up approach, change would begin with the lower ranking individuals tackling minor problems. This would be an example of this would be promoting mental health. Companies should promote transparency in their communication because it also promotes psychological safety. This is a concept in which people feel like they are able to candidly ask questions, share concerns, or admit mistakes without being criticized, ignored, or punished. Formal small group networks. To reduce the chances of burnout or widespread employee dissatisfaction, companies can work on fostering psychological safety by improving formal communication through transparency in small work groups. The best approach would be an all-channel network. This allows group members to actively communicate with each other regularly in self-managed teams, and group members are free to contribute while no single person takes a leadership role. This has been seen to be best for high member satisfaction.
The future of the workplace. As organizations went from working fully in person to completely remote and to adapting a hybrid solution for their employees, the three main key actions in embracing change and fostering connectivity. The first one is embrace the hybrid model. Reconsider the traditional working hours and how many days employees must go into the office. These decisions should be made from leaders using the downward communication to ensure that employees feel well communicated with the process. The second one is reimagine the physical space, changing layouts to accommodate office layout for safety measures. And finally, the third one is to manage fundamental human needs. Productivity has increased while working from home, but the lack of connection with colleagues has decreased. Importance of communication. Downward communication. Start from the top level of the organization. Clear directions and communications are important is needed as an organization shift to this hybrid shift. Group leaders and managers to communicate goals, information, explain the changes, policies and procedures, and offer feedback. It gives guidance to employees. Verbal communication. Aside from communication within the virtual world, face-to-face time is equally important to foster that connectivity. In conclusion, communication and motivation are crucial factors in any organization. Organizations with the new hybrid work model need leaderships to be able to adapt and influence employees. By applying these recommendations, managers will be able to influence people more effectively while working to achieve the organization's goals. And here's our reference slide.